Cognitive therapies have been shown to be very effective in helping people deal with depression, anxiety, and other symptoms. Cognitive therapies like CBT, which stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapies, involve not only just changing someone's thought processes, but also helping them prepare for situations and behaviors that they'll have to engage in the future. There's one very specific type of cognitive behavioral therapy that I want you to be familiar with, and that is REBT, which stands for Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy. REBT was proposed by Ellis, and instead of just focusing on thoughts, REBT focuses on belief systems. Now, thoughts come and go, but belief systems are very often a core part of who we are. These are things that we believe are true, and a lot of times they affect a lot of our behaviors, a lot of the way we live our life. Sometimes we have beliefs that are not healthy. We might have irrational beliefs, and the goal of REBT is to help someone change those irrational beliefs. So, an example of an irrational belief is that everyone should like me. That sounds nice, but it's very unrealistic, because if you're really being authentic to who you are, not everyone will like you. There's just too much diversity in the world, too much human difference and opinion, to where there will be some people that don't like you. But if you have this irrational belief that everybody has to like you, then you'll spend a lot of time trying to please everyone, be what we call a people pleaser. You won't be able to say no when someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, because you're terrified they won't like you. And so you think that if someone doesn't like you, then that says more about you than it does about them. So that can be a very unhealthy way of thinking and believing, and it can lead to depression, to anxiety, to a lot of unhappiness, because you can't please everyone. Other examples of irrational beliefs are that everything always works out in the end. It doesn't. Some people have horrible deaths in the middle of a horrible time period. So that sounds all nice and fuzzy and warm, but everything doesn't always work out okay in the end. We can work towards making things happen, but you have to break down that irrational belief. Another irrational belief is that you have to be perfect at everything that you do. You can't. No one's perfect. So again, it's about helping people break down these irrational beliefs and trying to help them deal more realistically by planning for the future. If you have someone with an irrational belief that everybody has to like them, you can't just tell them to stop. You have to help them practice. How would you say no to someone who asks you to do something you don't want to do? How would you respond if someone was mean to you or rude to you? Does that reflect who you are as a person? What if you lose a friend just because you didn't give them 20 bucks? What does that say about you and them? So it involves a lot of discussion, a lot of practice, but you'll want to be familiar with REBT, Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy. You'll want to know that it's a type of CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapies, which is a form of cognitive therapy, which is very effective at treating depression and anxiety. So lots of information to learn there, but a very influential and potentially powerful form of therapy.